Okay, so I don't know if I've ever said it on stream. I think I've mentioned it before. I could have sworn I have, but yeah, I'm actually I always got told that if you aspire to be a writer, then you already are one. And obviously, if you write things as well, you can't just aspire and never write anything. That's not how that works. But like if you aspire and you do the thing, then you are the thing. And I guess then I'm a writer. I have a project that I'd like to share with you guys. Yeah, I hope that it's enjoyable. I'm gonna do some readings of it. And what follows after this clip should be a reading of one of Tales Beyond the Fog. I believe it was Tales Beyond the Fog. Let me just see if that's actually what it's called. And knowing me, I'll keep all of this in as well. So it'll just be like, is that what I've read the book? Is that what it's called? Is that what I called it? It is Tales from Beyond the Fog. Okay. Right. So yeah. Have a listen. See if you like it. If you like it, then sub on Twitch. I'll be doing like little bits of world building and like writing, co-working kind of stuff, but for something maybe a little more interesting than whatever you do as a day job. Or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe you're a shark conservationalist or a highly paid actor or something. I don't know. But yeah. I hope that you enjoy. Okay. I'll let other me say the rest of the words. Excerpt from Tales from Beyond the Fog, Volume 1. Ankezia Daydreamer. Chapter 1. Silent Gods and Quiet Towns. Dawn rises on the mere, crater where the great dragon of nihilism came to rest, defeated by the enigmatic dreamer. Light streams through the temple windows, waking the sleep-deprived Lafant scribe, drooling at his post. This is no ordinary day. Where once the dreamer slept, his powers drained from felling the gargantuan horror, lay stone and nothing more. He awoke! He awoke! The scribe said, incredulous under his stolen breath. He awoke! Screaming now, the scribe ran. All the guild must know. All the guilds. Laphius knew. Laphius, safe in the seagull cause and fishy scent of Upper Orkerton, had performed the heist of his life. He'd started smaller in his youth, something fun to do while the embodiment of creation sleeps, just for japes. He'd steal cutlery, placemats, shovels, and then something strange happened. He stole something he didn't know existed. A knock at the door startles him awake, his trunk still clutching his quarry. His mind races. Don't come in. I'm just washing my trunk. Yes, just a moment. Had he done it? Blindsided his captors. Surely they'd let a Lafant bathe in peace. Okay, dearie. Breakfast will be closed soon. Get yourself a slice or you'll have to go to the bowls tourney. A shriveled, husky voice exclaimed from beyond his safe room. Thank you. His would-be captors were not far away, however. Amidst the geriatric buzz that the retirement and fishing village of Upper Orkerton provided, a proud elf stood, his face well kept, his biceps bulging, his whole body glowing, at least in his head. Sumradan was so named for the time of day, as was his brother Noonien, his father Dawn, and his mother Sumsar. Elves and otherworlds are fierce heroes, staunch protectors of nature. Here on Ankezia, we find Sumra, flexing for the elderly, to slight praise. A trainee Justicar of the guilds, Sumra was deployed to Upper Orciton at the behest of the head of the guild, his father Dawn. "Once you're done entertaining the citizens, Sumra," interrupted a gruff voice mid-flex. It was Frank Colby, a real Justicar, an upholder of peace and order, which wasn't hard on Ankezia. Make sure the Bowls Club don't double book with the Bridge Club. Make sure the guild coffers are full of donations from inns and seamstresses and all as well. Frank would have more of a challenge ahead, but his destiny is a secret that Laphius holds. The moment, a glorious shard of gleaming cosmic stardust, its true nature unknowable to most. Only those blessed with the vision of chronosight may perceive such a thing, and, unfortunately for Laphius, he can now see them all. Dangling, dancing, swirling, revolving, the moments of the lives of all hang around their personage. A beautiful dance of the past, a seemingly physical manifestation of history. Laphius sees even his own string of events jape about him, his crime inescapable, save for the rumble in his stomach urging him to breakfast. The inn, as it was known for being the only one in Orciton, was, as its name may suggest, unremarkable. In fact, so unremarkable that it simply must be pointed out. Drab interior, drab exterior, palatable eggs really were the only things of interest. Laphius finishes his breakfast, quickly takes the moment, and rushes out the door. The bicentennial bowls tourney and jelly deal jamboree was on. The fats and turtles alike rolled their bowls knowing that they would have to wait another 200 years to complete again. Of course, the club would meet bi-weekly, so the pressure wasn't on, unless you were here to prove something. A newcomer taking the stage, bowls with a special technique, his arms almost backwards, it all goes into the bowl. Competitors are stunned. Sumra is confused. Frank? What's the point in this again? Well, the idea is you get the training and I get to, have the management experience. I don't know. Nothing happens here anyway. I mean bowls, says Sumra, disappointed in the news that his trip to the quaint fishing village wasn't about to explode into a multiple-part spacefaring adventure novella written by... I don't know. Roll it towards the right thing and then closest wins. Other than that, don't ask me. Well, I'm not nearly old enough to know. Well, you're no spring chicken. I'll have you know, you're as old as I, Elf. Ah, that might be true. But I live to well over 500. How long do humans live? I give you 5 years, max. Before death, or before caring about bowls? Well, actually, don't answer that. A turtle fellow, so has strange arms. Sort of unsettling if I'm being frank. Sumra chuckled. Remind me to transfer you to the Guild of Comedians. Really? I never saw that as an option at Nemir. Yeah, I'll show you their headquarters, Frank said, pointing towards a barrel full of fish. Get in then. But in all seriousness, should their arms be doing that? Probably not. It was at this time Laphius noticed the two standing adjacent to the inn as the door closed shut. He ran as fast as his stumpy legs could carry him diagonal across the bowl ground, bumping face to face with the Star Bowls player with the strange arms. And suddenly, the secret was revealed. It was half snake, half spider, and if you can believe it, fluffy like a dog. Its slender arms and legs scrambling to its feet and hissed at the Justicars. Now fully aware that not only did they have a shape-shifting alien on their hands, but the thief of a priceless religious artifact. See, Sumra, it's all in a day's work, Frank said, standing over Laphius. Sir, the spidery thing is getting away. What? Then after it. And you, I know you can't run from me. Help me catch this freak, and we can talk about your sentence. Deal? I suppose. The creature ran, straight for the fish market. Scurrying legs made for a lightning-quick escape, and his 8 eyes and spider fangs scared residents into standing aside with fear and astonishment. This was perhaps the first Justicar chase through the streets of Orcaton, and certainly the first, perhaps on the planet, involving an alien species. It fled to the quay, where fishermen were about to unload their cargo of magic krill and skate, and disappeared from view. Sir, is this a bad time to say I don't like the smell of fish? Quite honestly, I don't think there's a right time for you to say most things, Summerer. But I'll remember it for the next spider-man snake we chase into the sea, Frank said, his eyes surveying the scene. Barrels upon barrels. A creature like that might be able to change into a barrel for all we know. He could be in one. He could be a ship. Best to ask the fishermen, see what they see first. You ask the keymaster if he's seen anything. I'll be checking the barrels. Aye, sir, I shall. And like the dutiful soldier he was, Sumra marched straight to the keymaster and showed him his Justicar's seal. We are here on the order of the Justicar's Guild of Ankezia. I am Justicar Dawn, and that is Justicar Colby. We're here to, His social anxiety kicks in, and he forgets how to say this properly and politely. Stuck at that moment, his mind on fire, his eyes glazed, his entire 2 brain cell capacity engaged on finding the solution on how to phrase this, he jumped to the first answer. Have you, seen anything fishy around here? The keymaster looks at him in amazement. His laughter, held back by the floodgates of his lips, sealed tight by the threat of jail time and fines for not cooperating with a justice official appointed by the guild. Alas, he cannot contain himself. Oh, you mean fish? Frank, meanwhile, is searching through the barrels and finds a disturbing discovery. It's a compass by a fishing net, encrusted in barnacles but seemingly intact. Sorry, sailor, is this yours? Justicar Colby on behalf of the Justicar's Guild of Ankezia. We're looking into a strange creature sighted in the area. Nah, replies the gaunt, sweaty Lafant, covered in fish viscera and salt. But he's very pretty. Yeah, well, thank you anyway. Can I have it? This is evidence. Can I have the evidence? No, sorry. Why not? It might be our creatures. Frank opens the compass. Its hand is pointed directly at the end of the quay, at the abandoned house on the highest point of Orcaton. It's no bloody worth. Useless. We can keep it then, retorted the Lafant, losing all interest. That was a common theme in Ankezia. For as long as Frank can remember, his inclination towards adventure and excitement wasn't something that many shared. A noble who loses a lover to an evil witch. Not in Ankezia. Closest is the knitting club of Namir losing a prominent member to the embroidery club because it was more cool. Sumra, I've found something. Frank bellowed across the quay, much to Sumra's delight, as he had now had a polite way to remove himself from the lengthy one-sided discussion about fish he was currently embroiled in. They reconvened at the entrance to the quay just as Laphius caught up. Ah, I was wondering if you'd make it. Were we too fast for you, Lafant? Jested Sumra. Shut up, replied the exhausted Lafant. Laphius could see moments around Sumra's neck. He knew he'd looked in the mirror multiple times without the top half of his uniform, flexing his hardest and saying things like, Oh, Sumra, you pierce the heart of all who would set eyes upon you. If you're looking to impress, why don't you clean the mirror in your quarters? Might make you able to see your needy attention-seeking... That's enough, unless you want me to sentence you to the maximum sentence, interrupted Frank, eager to share what he had found. This compass points to the house on the hill. Wherever that thing is from, we'll probably find him there. Ah, so we're going to the creepy house on the hill? Nothing foreboding at all. Right, let me just sit down for a minute. No, now, said the Justicars in unison. Well, at least it's empty, said Frank, inspecting the dusty mantelpiece of the abandoned house's study. It stood tall against the sea. Although time had eroded the ground beneath it, it still stood, but for how long, only time would tell. Is it more unsettling that the cobwebs are vast and the creature is spider-like, or the fact that there are seemingly no spiders in here? Laphius pondered. The first one, Summer replied almost instantly. If there were spiders here too, that'd really be too much. Oh, so, Mr. Muscle Elf here can't handle a few creepy crawlies? Shut it, the pair of you. What if he's heard us and making a run for... And then, intense scuttling, like a dog-sized arachnid would make, just above them. Upstairs, now! They ran, well, the Justicars did, and Laphius sauntered. When they arrived at the floor above, they could see a door ajar from the landing. Slowly, Frank crept towards it, slowly opened the door, and inside... Barrels? I sure hope he's not in one, said Laphius, joining the duo. It's going to be a surprise if he is when I open one. Frank pulls the lid on one of the barrels, but only finds more compasses. Strange. A cavernous thud, combined with the sounds of hissing and cries for help, bellowed from behind a painting of the house, showing a cove underneath. Frank acted fast, thrusting himself towards the painting and ripping it off the wall to see a cave, wet and dank, replete with the sound of running water. Well, in we go. Upon entering, the small cave opened up to a cove. Multiple dilapidated ships sat sailorless, but one object stood out, a colossal shell, with what appeared to be an anchor. What in the dreamer's sleep is that? It's a shell, sir, explained Sumra, deadpan as possible. This isn't the time, Beef Large Huge. Sumra was already grating on Laphius. He'd known him for 20 minutes. How? You say something, sir. You have something in your throat. No, you twit. It's our friend, Man-Snake Spider. I'm a scream. Please help me. I've broken 4 of my legs. Certainly, citizen. But first, why the compasses? It's... What? Speak up. Frank shuffles towards the creature, now sprawled out on its back. It's... hissed the screen, its legs lunging for Frank. Frank had always wanted to fight crime. An innate sense of order and justice had pursued him throughout his life, always finding him attending minor altercations of old jaws yammering about grey activities. Now, he was fighting an alien. Swift, he moved back a foot. The screen had missed. Okay, although I am stuck. What do you think, Frank? Remarked Sumra, his hair effulgent in the cove's sea breeze. Should we help him? Well, if we want to know what this shell is, I'll assume this man has our answers. Oh, you mean... Yes, of course I mean him. But you said man, and he's no man. I know. Just help me find something we can pick him up and put him in. Settling on a old barnacle-marked large wooden chest, they bundled the creature inside and sat on the lid. Right then. They were all ignoring the screen's wailing cries for help. What's the snaily thing? Not telling, the creature squeaked. What is the snaily thing? Sumra smacked the chest, his hand red from the impact, and small tears began to surface on his face. I have a compass that points here. Doesn't. Where's it pointing then? Not telling. Frank nodded to Sumra, again summoning fury this rich mahogany eaten by the ravages of time had never before seen. He had what he would refer to as an ouchie. But he wouldn't let Frank know that. He'd stop being cool. Now, all right, okay. A screen are very sensitive to loud noises. Please no more. The compass points to the ship. You need one to drive it. I see. You, Levant, bellowed Frank from across the chamber. Got something just up your street. I'd hate to be the butt of my own joke, but you sure that's wise? I might squash him. Is that a burglary charge I hear, or are you going to assist the Justicar of the Guild, citizen? Ah, right you are then, almighty lawman, said Laphius, reluctantly taking the seat offered. Frank walked around the shell, compass in hand. Not only did it point towards it, but it seemed to pull itself towards it, an almost imperceptible degree. But it did. Whilst he's grotesque, he's hardly wrong. It does point this way, all right? But you're nowhere near smart enough to fly her. Please, I will leave, please. You're coming with us, Sunshine, said Summer triumphantly. It made him get butterflies.
You don't understand. I have a dentist's appointment.
Do you even have teeth? Frank shelved that thought as a cacophonous explosion rung out, reverberating in the cove from high above, collapsing as a far wall to reveal the world was filling with a strange pearlescent liquid unlike any of them, sans the alien, had seen before.
Get in the ship,
said the screen hurriedly. The three men scrambled to get aboard, Sumra pulling himself up to safety first. Frank hurriedly threw the chest at him before assisting in pushing Laphius up, while Sumra deftly deflected it as the screen within whirled around like lost socks in a washing machine. Speak. How do we fly this thing?
Someone with smarts sits in the chair.
If you had no idea of alien technology, you'd be forgiven for thinking that this was a dining room chair that had been nailed to the soft, fleshy floor of this creature. Mostly because you didn't know any better, but partially because you were correct. And how do you get it here, then? Sumra jabbed. I suppose that's going to be me, then. And I'll do it this time because I'm nice, not because there's potential legal action. Well, can't be convicted if you're dead. Hop in. The shell hummed to life. Laphius feeling his nerves in direct sync with this creature from the stars. He saw a vast and timeless cosmos. He saw lights in a sea of magic, rivers of pure will connecting the space in between worlds. He was at once in awe of the size of the universe and in fear of the insignificant amount of it he took up. How'd you go? He said, slightly bewildered by the feelings.
It might be hard for you, but think, and you shall.
Laphius added his will to that of the world. The ship thrust itself into space. His want to survive pushed it, and as he did so, he lifted the ship up out of the cove. He could see it now, the hole in the sky, so large and great. Turning about, he also spied something he thought was a myth. The Nemir. A dragon so great, his wings eclipsed the sun, his maw the size of a small town. Everything within Laphius told him to run, and since he was already in the chair, he moved as fast as possible, as the shadow of this colossal beast descended on all he had ever known. Well, looks like we might be late back to the barracks tonight, Sumra, Frank said, bewildered, horrified, and dumbfounded by what he saw. Sumra didn't say anything, but now his hand hurt, and he had no home to go to. Sorrowful and mourning, they left through the hole in the sky to wander. All right, okay. What do you think? If you liked it, let me know. If you don't, tell me, I guess. Might be a little sad though. And I'm hopefully going to start publishing it soon. It'll be on Amazon as part of Tales from Beyond the Fog. If you want to know more about Ankezia, let me know in the comments. Let me know. You can ask anything. What does Sumra like to eat for breakfast? What's Frank's shoe size? Anything. Ask what Laphius' shoe size is. Quite big. Okay, cool. And yeah, there are 2 other stories that I'll be demoing, I guess. That's not all of Ankezia, by the way. That first part there is the first part of it. There are 2 parts to that one. You'll enjoy the second part, I'm sure. But yeah, until then, have a good one. Okay, I forgot. There are some outtakes. So enjoy the outtakes. Well, yeah. Just enjoy the outtakes. This is one of them. The Bicentennial Bowls Tourney and Jelly Deal Jamboree was on. Elephants and turtles alike The bicentennial bowls tourney and jellied The bicentennial bowls tourney and jellied The bicentennial bowls tourney and jellied so we're going to the creepy house on the hill. Nothing foreboding at all. Right, let me just sit down for a minute. No, now, said the Justicars in unison. Can't believe I thought that. Oh, so Mr. Windows Updates is scared of having to install updates? Frank would have shelved that thought as a... No, why would he have? He did. He did shelve that thought. Frank shelved that thought